The Sweet Discoveries event is coming up in Pokemon Go, featuring brand new Pokemon and items. And by the end of this video, you'll know everything the event has to offer and the best tips to help you make the most of it. So the event runs from April 24th at 10 AM until the 29th at 8 PM local time. But what exactly does this event have to offer? Well, Applin is making its Pokemon Go debut, and evolving it is actually quite a bit different to other Pokemon. So Applin has two branching evolutions, Flapple and Appleton, and to evolve into either of these Pokemon, you do need 200 candy. But not only that, you do also need a certain item to go with the candy to do these evolutions. These items are apples. Beginning during the Sweet Discoveries event, you may discover apples in the wild, but they are likely going to be pretty rare. These apples appear on the overworld map screen, much like Pokeballs did for the recent April Fool's Day event. And when tapped on, they will award sweet apples, tart apples, or encounters with Pokemon, including Applin. And apples will also have an increased chance of appearing at Mossy Lure modules. But back to the evolution requirements. To evolve Applin into Flapple, you do need 200 candy and you need 20 tart apples. And to evolve Applin into Appleton, you need 20 candy and 20 sweet apples. And really, this is just scratching the surface for this event. For the bonuses, you'll get 2 times candy for catching Pokemon, you'll have an increased chance to encounter Shiny Delibird and Shiny Squovet, you'll have an increased chance to hatch Shiny Delibird, Shiny Cherubi, and Shiny Squovet. Catching Delibird or Squovet will award berries, increased chance for apples to appear at Mossy Lure modules, and you'll get half hatch distance for the first 3 eggs hatched using the Pokemon Go hatching widget. And for those of you that don't know what the egg hatching widget is, it's essentially a widget that you can add to your home screen on your phone so you can see the progress of your eggs without opening the Pokemon Go app. There's also one for your buddy Pokemon as well, one for your activity summary and your daily streaks. And to get them on iPhone, tap and hold empty space on your home screen until the apps start to jiggle. Then press the edit button in the top left corner of the screen, tap add widget and search widgets for Pokemon Go and add the egg hatching widget and any others that you think are useful. The process is pretty much the same for Android phones as well. And in the wild for the event, you will be able to encounter Alolan Rattata, Abra, Bellsprout, Delibird, Gulpin, Bidoof, Munna, Bounsweet, Squovet, and rarely you will be able to encounter Snorlax, Shuckle, Komala, and Applin. There will also be 7km event eggs that you can get from opening gifts from your friends, and in these eggs will be Delibird, Cherubi, Munchlax, and Squovet. In 5-star raids will be Cresselia, in Mega raids will be Mega Mawile, in 5-star Shadow raids will be Shadow Registeel on Saturdays and Sundays only, and in Max battles during the event will be Max Squirtle, Krabby, Chansey, and Sobble up until the 28th at 6 AM, then Max Charmander, Pidove, Cryogonal, Wooloo, and Phalanx will take over. And Max Entei will be debuting in its own Max Battle weekend from the 26th at 6 AM until the 27th at 9 PM local time. And this will be going on during the Sweet Discoveries event. There will also be field research rewarding Stardust and event-themed encounters. There'll be a free timed research that'll get you 1 Mossy Lure module, 1 Tart Apple, 1 Sweet Apple, and encounters with event-themed Pokemon. New avatar items, including an Applin headband and apron, will be available, and there'll be event-themed Pokestop showcases to keep an eye out for. You can also purchase a $2 timed research that'll get you 2 Mossy Lure modules and encounters with Delibird, Squovet, Applin, and more. And if you do decide you want to buy this ticket, I would recommend getting it from the Pokemon Go web store instead of the in-game shop, because for the same price you'll get that ticket but with 5 bonus Ultra Balls, so you may as well get it from the web store. So there is actually quite a bit going on for this event, but which Pokemon should you focus on the most? Well, Abra could be an option because Mega Alakazam is the 2nd best Psychic type in the game, with Confusion and Legacy move Psychic, and with its Fighting type moveset, Counter, and Focus Blast, it is the 10th best Fighting type attacker, so it could be hunting some high IV Abra for this. Delibird will also be available, and whilst not meta relevant, it will have a shiny boost, so a good chance to get the shiny if you haven't got it yet. Delibird will also be dropping berries during the event when caught, but it isn't specified what berries it will drop or how frequently you can expect to get these berry drops, but it's worth catching some just to test it out. And also, it's a Stardust boosted Pokemon that gives 500 Stardust per catch instead of the standard 100. Now we do have Gulpin available in the wild, and Swalot, its evolution, is ranked 63 in the Great League with 0, 14, 14 IVs. Bounsweet is also available in the wild, and Serena isn't one of the most meta relevant Pokemon in the game, but it is the 24th best grass type attacker, so if you don't have anything better and you need a grass type attacker, then it could be worth picking this one up. I wouldn't invest too much Stardust into it though, because most likely you'll get something better soon enough. Unlike Delibird, Squovet will have an increased chance to be shiny, and it will be dropping berries when caught. It's also worth noting that the Squovet candy might be worth picking up for D-Max Greedent, which is a decent max spirit user with its high HP. Snorlax will be a rare wild wild spawn, and this Pokemon doesn't have a lot of meta relevance at the moment, but if you did manage to get a Gigantamax Snorlax, then you could hunt this Pokemon for candy to power it up, because it is a strong tank for max battles. Snorlax in its shadow form is also not a bad Pokemon in the Master League, being ranked 115, and its pre-evolution Munchlax will be in 7km eggs, so a great time to shiny hunt it. Likewise, Cherubi is in these eggs, and it will have a boosted chance to be shiny when hatched during this event. When it comes to the new Pokemon Applin and its evolutions, are they actually any good in Pokemon Go? Well, before we get into that, just a quick bonus tip that Applin is actually a dragon type, so this will be a good chance to work on your Dragon Tamer Platinum medal, because generally with dragons being quite rare, it is one of the harder catch medals to complete. And if you're wondering why getting this Platinum medal matters, there are a couple of reasons. Firstly, you do need 35 Platinum medals in Pokemon Go to eventually level up to level 50. And not only that, but leveling up your catch medal actually increases the catch rate of that type for you. So getting a Platinum Dragon Tamer medal will make it easier for you to catch dragon type Pokemon, including those legendary Pokemon that have dragon typings, which there are quite a lot of. Now back to how good these Pokemon will be. So Applin can evolve into either Flapple or Appleton, depending on the type of apple it's given. And it does have a third branching evolution as well, but more on that in a moment. Firstly, for Flapple, which is a grass and dragon type, it maxes out at 2788 CP and has an attack of 214, defense of 144 and stamina of 172. And it does have access to these moves currently, although they could change before it's released into the game. For Appleton, it's also a grass and dragon type. It maxes out at 2772 CP, has an attack of 178, defense of 146 and stamina of 242. And it has access to these moves, and again, they could be changed before its release. Unfortunately though, it doesn't seem like these Pokemon will be very useful in the game at the moment. However, they could be some spice picks for Go Battle League, or they might even become part of a meta in a smaller niche cup. And it is worth noting that both of these Pokemon will have Gigantamax forms that will come to the game in the future, so you might want to stock up on some candy for them for the future. And not only that, like I did mention before, Applin can also evolve into the Pokemon Dipplin that won't be added to the game at this point during this event, but it will no doubt be added in the future. And Dipplin can actually further evolve into Hydrapple, which will most likely be pretty interesting. And to evolve Applin into Dipplin, another apple will most likely be added to the game, because in the main series games it uses a syrupy apple to evolve into Dipplin. And to further evolve Dipplin into Hydrapple, you need to have it learn the move Dragon Cheer and then level it up. So there could even be another item added to Pokemon Go in the future that'll allow you to get Dragon Cheer, or it could just be available through Elite TM. Either way, you are going to need a lot of Applin candy to get all of the Applin line, so it's worth trying to hunt it as much as you can during this event, especially as apples will be spawning more frequently near Mossy Lures during this event. And briefly for the Max Battle Pokemon, Max Squirtle will be worth it for the candy for G-Max Blastoise, with it being a decent tank, but even if you don't have access to the G-Max form, Max Blastoise is a decent tank itself, especially as Blastoise does have access to Bite and Water Gun as fast attacks. Max Krabby again could be worth battling for candy for G-Max Kingler, because it is the best water type for Max battles so far. Max Chansey is worth picking up because Max Blissey is a really strong general healer and tank, especially as it has access to Pound, so it's well worth investing in. Blissey is also the best gym defender as well. Max Sobble could be an option because Max Inteleon is actually a decent budget water type attacker, and when G-Max Inteleon comes to the game in the future, it will be the best water type for Max battles. We do also have access to Max Charmander, which could be worth picking up for G-Max Charizard if you've got it, but also because outside of Max battles, Mega Charizard Y is the best fire type attacker. And when it comes to Cresselia, this Pokemon sees quite a lot of play in Go Battle League. It's ranked 102 in the Great League with 215-13 IVs, it's ranked 29 in the Ultra League with 115-13, and it's ranked 120 in the Master League. Cresselia does have a raid TP of 33,794, and 100% IVs are 1633 and 2041 boosted in windy weather. It is a pure Psychic type, and therefore it is weak to Bug, Dark, and Ghost type attacks. The best counters are Dawnwing's Necrozma, Mega Gengar, Mega Absol, Mega Tyranitar, Shadow Tyranitar, Shadow Chandelure, Mega Houndoom, Mega Rayquaza, Mega Banette, and Shadow Mewtwo. And for budget counters which are generally easier to obtain and to power up, I would recommend Tyranitar, Hydreigon, Chandelure, Absol, Incineroar, and Weavile. This raid can be duoed with the best counters at high levels, but I would recommend 3+ trainers and partying up to make it easier. Cresselia will also be a possible encounter from Go Battle League win rewards if you are ranked 20 or higher. We also have Mega Mawile available during this event, which is only really worth raiding if you need Mawile or its Mega Evolution for the Pokedex. Other than that, it doesn't really have that much meta relevance outside of its typing, specifically boosting those types. But if you're looking to raid it, it does have a raid CP of 29,333, and the 100% IVs for Mawile are 934 and 1167 boosted in snowy and cloudy weather. Mega Mawile is a Steel and Fairy type, therefore it is weak to ground and fire type attacks. The best counters are Primal Groudon, Mega Blaziken, Mega Charizard Y, Shadow Heatran, Shadow Chandelure, Shadow Groudon, Reshiram, Reshiram, Mega Garchomp, Shadow Darmanitan, and Shadow Moltres. And for budget counters, I would recommend Chandelure, Delphox, Blaziken, Darmanitan, Emboar, and Excadrill. This raid can actually be soloed with the best counters at high levels, and it's worth noting it will require 200 Mega Energy to Mega Evolve Morwell for the first time, which will be obtainable from 1 or 2 raids depending on how quickly you beat the raid. Once you've Mega Evolved a Morwell for the first time, you can then walk any of your Morwell as your buddy to get more Mega Energy. Now these Pokemon won't really have a lot of value unless you can power them up, and for that you are going to need quite a bit of candy, and here are some ways you can maximize on candy during this event. So luckily during the event there will be a 2x catch candy bonus, meaning that with a Pinat Berry you can get 12 candy per catch and 14 candy if you use a silver Pinat Berry. I would advise using Pinat Berries in particular on Applin, so you can work on getting those 400 candy you need to get both evolutions done. And as always, you can Mega Evolve a Pokemon that shares a type with the Pokemon you're catching to increase the amount of candy, Candy XL, and XP you get per catch. And for this event, I would recommend Mega Evolving a Grass or Dragon type so you can get more candy for Applin. For Grass types, you could Mega Evolve Venusaur, Sceptile, Abomasnow, or you could revert Groudon. Mega Evolving a Grass type will also cover Bellsprout and Bounsweet as well. Alternatively, you could Mega Evolve a Dragon type such as Charizard X, Ampharos, Sceptile, Altaria, Salamence, Latios, Latias, Garchomp, or Rayquaza. And as Rayquaza does mimic the Windy Weather boost, it will boost candy gains for Abra, Delibird, and Munna as well. And remember to pick whichever Pokemon you have at max Mega level so you can get more candy, XP, and chance for Candy XL. And it's worth noting you can get a guaranteed XL candy per trade this season because of the seasonal bonus, so good time to work on your Platinum Gentleman and Pilot medals. And if you're going to do any 5-star raids during the event, I would recommend doing so during raid hour, because you will get a guaranteed Rare Candy XL for each raid completed during raid hour. And if you didn't know, Rare Candy XL can be turned into Candy XL for any Pokemon of your choice, so it's a very important item to have. So well worth doing 5-star raids during raid hour this season, and this will help you progress your Platinum Rising Star and Battle Legend medals. And Cresselia does have a raid hour on the 23rd and the 30th at 6 PM, so if you want to raid Cresselia, this would be the best time to do it. You will also get more candy by increasing the amount of Pokemon you catch in a given time. So methods like quick catching, having catch assist from your buddy, and utilizing Origin Palkia's Spatial Rend Adventure effect to increase encounter radius can all help you get more catches. Worth noting as well that Black Curem's Free Shock Adventure effect will increase catch rate of Pokemon by 25%, and it'll stop the Pokemon moving, making it easier for you to catch them. And White Curem's Ice Burn Adventure effect will increase catch rate by 50%, and it'll make it a lot easier for you to get excellent throws. And some settings can also help you speed up your gameplay and your catching. So in the advanced settings, firstly you can turn on Remember Last Pokeball. This is especially helpful if you want to use Great or Ultra Balls instead of Pokeballs to catch Pokemon, because it means each time you encounter another Pokemon, you'll bring out your Great or Ultra Ball at the start of the encounter instead of starting with a Pokeball and then having to navigate the menu to change it. You can also select native refresh rate, which will give you smoother gameplay because the refresh rate won't be capped, it'll be based on your phone's refresh rate. This, however, may drain your battery a little bit quicker. Now, candy is very useful, but to use it to power up Pokemon, you do need Stardust as well. And whilst there are no Stardust bonuses during this event, there are some ways you can maximize on Stardust still. Well, the best tip for Stardust during this event is catching Delibird. This Pokemon gives 500 Stardust per catch, which is 750 with a star piece and 938 weather boosted in snowy or windy weather on top of that. So at best, you can get almost 1000 Stardust per Delibird catch, and it is a common spawn during this event, so you will likely see a lot of them. Not only that, you can enter Pokestop showcases because you will get a little bit of XP and Stardust just for taking part, and if you win them, you can get premium items like star pieces and lucky eggs, which you can then use to get more Stardust and XP later down the line. And also, just before the Sweet Discoveries event starts, on the 22nd at 6 PM local time, Morlul does have a Spotlight Hour, and it's well worth playing this one because Morlul is a Stardust boosted Pokemon like Delibird, and with the 2x Stardust bonus from the Spotlight Hour, and if you use a star piece, you will get 1500 Stardust per Morlul catch. And not only Stardust, you can actually make some big XP during the Sweet Discoveries event, but not directly from the event itself. So during the Sweet Discoveries event, there will be a community day featuring Vanillite on the 27th between 2 PM and 5 PM local time. And whilst this event will feature boosted spawns for Vanillite and it'll have increased shiny rates of 1 in 25 amongst other bonuses, the big one is the 3x catch XP that you can get from it. This means if you use a lucky egg and get excellent throws, you can get over 6000 XP per catch, which is some of the best XP you can get in the game really. Now, getting Applin through apples is quite a weird way to obtain a Pokemon, and if you want to know about other Pokemon that are obtained in weird ways in Pokemon Go, then I recommend checking out this video on the screen now, and I'll catch you in the next one.